All right, let's do a little something different today. We're going to do a live discussion, but we're going to see how people are doing out there. So we've already taken a toll. A bunch of you taken a toll. It's are you better off now than you were 1 to 2 years ago? And yes, there's 14% that said they're better off as of right now. 59% said no. 18% said about the same, and 10% said it's a mixed bag between good and bad. So let's talk about that today. We see a lot of macroeconomic news out there, but macroeconomic news, the big picture, that's one thing. But how is everybody out there feeling it in their pockets? We've got the macroeconomics, the big picture is nationwide prices are up 19 to 20%. How is it in your area? Housing is up, rent is up 15 to 20%. Home prices are up 25 to 35%. But how is it in your area? Wages, average wages are up 10 to 12%. Groceries are up 25% since 2021. Some categories like meat, eggs, bread are up 30 to 40%. Utilities, car insurance is up 20 to 30%. Home insurance, utilities up 10 or 15%. So how is it in your neck of the woods? What's changed for you? What's improved for you, if anything? Anything become easier or harder? And again, this is a live discussion. This is, if you're new to our channel or new to our community, welcome. You are now part of the greatest, most awesome, most compassionate community in the United States, I would argue. Every single day we join here and we help people navigate the bureaucracy, get help, emotional help, support, moral support, and across the board. So let's see what we got here for some comments and some questions. Someone says, now if I could only get the mortgage paid off, with a little bit of luck, that might happen around 2034 if there are dreaded Social Security cuts at that time. As of right now, the dreaded Social Security cuts, if we don't do anything, that's going to happen as of right now. I think it's going to come a little bit earlier because of the stuff happening this year recently. But the cuts are going to happen in 85 more checks, and that is going to be, as of right now, January of 2033. So about that time. And if you're new to our channel, why are we getting cuts? Is because these guys didn't do anything for 40 years to shore up Social Security, and they're letting the trust fund run out. A lot of misinformation and myths out there about the trust fund, but I've done a bunch of videos on that. So we need to make sure these people, the politicians on both sides, go out there and fix it. So you need to definitely contact your politicians and say, okay, what have you done to actually make sure we don't get a 34% cut in a few years? And don't let them give you any bull BS. You can go to my website, mygovexpert.com. You can go to some of the other videos I've made about all the BS things. The politicians will tell you, oh, it's this reason, and don't believe it. So be prepared before you call. Nona, semi-retired. I sold my home for 40. I had for 40 years for a profit of over 540K. Wow. So after the old house was paid off, I bought one in South Carolina for cash and invested the difference. Love no mortgage. Okay. So a profit over 540. Remember, if you were receiving Medicare at that time, you had that IRMAA, the income related monthly adjustment amount. I know it's a mouthful, but it is what it is. Let me show you on my website, mygovexpert.com. You click on Medicare there, and you go down to IRMAA. And basically, if you sold a home and you made over $250,000 of capital gains if you're single, $500,000 if you're married, then you will pay an extra Part B premium for 1 year. It comes 2 years after you sell your home, or if you have high income. It's called the income-related monthly adjustment amount, and it makes your Part B more expensive and your Part D more expensive. So I'm not sure if Donna got that extra bill there. Unfortunately, for selling a home, if they tack you with that extra premium, that's one of the things you cannot dispute. Congress did not make an exception for people selling their home, unfortunately. If you lost your work, if you lost income producing property, if you got divorced or something like that, that is what's called a life-changing event. But selling your house, yeah, I'm not sure why they didn't make that part of that, but they didn't. So let's see. Bella's mortgage free is also awesome as well. Good, good, good. Let's see. I am mortgage free, no credit card debt. Now I just need to deal with the Social Security nuts. And that's what I'm here for pretty much every day. So if you or someone you know, relative, friend, next door neighbor is having a hard time dealing with the Social Security bureaucracy, I was going to say democracy, and that's definitely not a Freudian slip there. Bureaucracy, then make sure you have, number one, subscribe to the channel so you can find us again, and then go out to that person. Okay, what issue are you having? And then make sure you have them come on here to live, or they can also record a video. We've got a few videos here. Let's go ahead and play one right now and answer some questions.
Yes, my wife, she went in retirement at 62, but her full retirement was at 66 and 6 months. She's wanting to know if she can have her retirement recalculated or recalibrated to see if it would have her benefits increase.
Okay, if she or anybody has filed for Social Security benefits and you're currently receiving Social Security benefits, you didn't suspend or anything like that, then yeah, once you're locked in at that lower amount, 62 is about 30%. Once you're locked into that lower amount, then that's going to stay that amount forever. There's two things that can increase it. Obviously, COLA, cost of living adjustment, which is 2.8% next year. And if she continues to work, if you are receiving Social Security benefits and you continue to work, and that's one of your high 35 years of earnings, then your benefit amount will increase. I'm trying to look for my little graph here, because Social Security determines your benefit amount based on your high 35 years of earnings. So they do a three-step little thing there. They say, okay, they look at all your earnings, and they pick the high 35. They index that for a wage index. So if you made $20,000 in 1980, you're like, that's $20,000 is nothing. No, right now it might be worth $80,000, $100,000, depending on how much it's indexed to. And then they calculate, they take it the 420 months, and they come up with your average index monthly earning, your AMI. So they say, okay, you made X amounts, $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 average per month over your life. And then they take that amount and they multiply it in this bin point formula, 90%, 32%, and then that comes to your primary insurance amount. So if you continue to work, if you're 65, 75, 85, 95 years old and you continue to work and pay into Social Security, that's 100% automatic. You don't have to do anything except for pay your taxes to the IRS. And then once Social Security gets that information of how much you made, they will do the calculation. Sometimes it takes a while. We had some people in our community just got the increase in October. They backdate it to January, but that's 100% automatic. If you are, if she started her benefits at 62 and then suspended them, probably because of work. So this year you're limited to the amount of money you can make. In this year for 2025, it's $23,400. For 2026, it's $24,480. If you go over that amount, $1 for every $2 will be taken out. So if her benefits were suspended for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months, once she hits her full retirement age, this is 100% automatic too. Once she hits her full retirement age, they recalculate her benefit amount and give her credit. They don't give her the full check, but they unreduce her reduced benefits by however many months she was receiving benefits. And that's 100% automatic as well. So let's see. We had several meetings today on healthcare, guys. Democrats have a health plan. It's the spark of hope. Oh, okay. Yeah. waiting for that healthcare plan that they said was going to be out in 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks on the other side, and there's never been anything out there. So, and the Affordable Care Act, because they took out the mandate, essentially it's still there, but it's zero, which means there is no mandate. And insurance, all insurance runs by the more people paying premiums, the cheaper it is for everybody else. And when they took out the mandate, that's why we see crazy prices, premiums now. So they changed my disability to retirement when I turned 65. I wonder if that's legit because I thought retirement was 67. It depends on your particular age. If your full retirement age was 65 or 65 in 6 months or 68 in 10 months, whenever your full retirement age is, that's when they switch you from disability benefits to retirement benefits. Every now and then I do a video, and the thumbnail says, 500,000 people will lose disability benefits this year. And that is, okay, it's a little bit of clickbait, but it's 100% accurate. Because 500,000 people every year will hit their full retirement age. What is it, about 10 or 11,000 people turn 65 every day? A lot of baby boomers out there. So once you turn your full retirement age, you essentially lose your Social Security disability benefits. It just switches over to regular retirement benefits. So one month you were receiving a disability check. Next month, you're going to receive a retirement check. Same exact amount. A lot of people don't even notice the switch. But the reason I do a kind of a clickbaitish, a provocative title like that is because I want people, there's a lot of people out there that have been switched over to retirement benefits and they're still stressing about getting a CDR, a continuing disability review. They're still worrying about being kicked off of disability. And so we do a crazy video like that to reach out to people and say, if you're past your full retirement age, you're not on disability, so stop worrying about being kicked off disability. You're not on disability anymore. You might be disabled, obviously, but you're not receiving disability benefits anymore. So, and you no longer have those really crazy work requirements or work limitations from disability. So, Bridget, I think I haven't seen you here before. Welcome to the most awesomest community on social media. My Social Security disability insurance went down to $600 this month. I tried to apply online for SSI. They kept shutting me off. Went down to $600. The only way your SSDI would go down is if they started taking out Medicare, which this year it's the $185. Next year it's going to be what, $202.90. It's gone up quite a bit, $17 or so. So if they cut your SSDI, it's because they're going to start taking Medicare out there, or you signed up for a plan, they're going to take Part D. That's probably not it because you're on SSDI. Or you have an overpayment or something, perhaps. And so you're doing the right thing by trying to file for SSI. And for those new people out there, SSI is not Social Security income. SSI is supplemental security income. It is a needs-based program that Social Security administers for people with low income, low resources. Okay. And millions of people are receiving SSDI, Social Security Disability Insurance. That's what you paid into when you paid your FICA taxes. Millions of people are receiving SSDI and SSI. So for her, let's say her benefit amount is $600. If she's paying her Part B now, then her benefit amount is $785. But let's say it's $600. So if you're able to get in and get the application for SSI and they approve you, then what you'll do is you'll get another $367 because the max on SSI for this year is $967. And they pretty much subtract one for one. There's a $20 gray area there. But anyway, so you'll get $600 from SSDI and then another few $100 from SSI. And if you're approved for SSI, you're also what's called categorically eligible for Medicaid from the state. And that will pay for that $185 or $202 from Medicare. So yeah, and remember, our community has two websites. One of them is the one that has all the information about Medicare, Social Security, retirement, disability, survivor benefits, family, SSI there, overpayments, living overseas, veterans, Medicaid, appeals, the myths I was talking about, living on Social Security alone. But we also have a website called 24help.org, which is y'all's discussion group where you can go in there and discuss about Social Security, retirement, spouse benefits, Social Security disabilities, CDRs, housing, utilities, getting help, helping each other. So, and then how to support our community and support each other. So 24help.org is y'all's ability to discuss and help each other out. Linda, can you explain why when you're disabled, when you when you turn 66 in that month, they no longer consider you disabled, but somebody forgets to tell you? Yeah, that's why I do those videos, the kind of provocative titled videos. It's because, yeah, Social Security, right now it's even worse. Again, Congress, they have been doing this for a long time, making it very difficult for people to navigate the Social Security bureaucracy. They don't, even before Elon Musk and Doge came in, Social Security in terms of staffing was at a 50-year low. And now it's worse, far, far worse. But Social Security has always done a terrible job at making sure you don't know what you don't know. And Social Security doesn't do a great job of informing people of the stuff they don't know. If you know what you want and you go into the Social Security Administration, you're going to get what you know. If you go in there for something else, hopefully one of the employees will say, okay, yeah, you're in here for this, but let me ask you a few questions and see if we can get you something over here. But there's a lot of people out there that don't know what they don't know, and they're just sitting there, and every month, another check for $200, $300, $400, $500, $600, $1,000 a month, we found a bunch here, just is flying out the window. Every month they don't do something they don't know. We had someone that lost 10 years of benefits, another one that lost a few years, about 12 months of benefits a few days ago. Yeah, so it's unfortunate. So for switching from disability to retirement benefits, it's just they stop taking the money. It's a bureaucratic thing. There's two different trust funds. There's actually more, but in terms of Social Security, there's two different trust funds. You've got the Social Security Disability Trust Fund, and then you've got the OASI, the Old Age and Survivor Insurance Trust Fund, the regular retirement trust fund. And what happens is once you hit your full retirement age, they stop taking money out of the disability trust fund and start taking your money out of the retirement trust fund. So it's just a bureaucratic thing on the inside. But the important thing for people is to know. So if you know anybody, that's over 67, that's the full retirement age for those people born after 1960. So if you know anybody like that, you got someone around you that's 70, 75, 80 years old, and they say, oh, I'm receiving Social Security disability, please correct them and say, no, you're not. You're disabled. Yes, I understand you're able, but your benefit amount is coming out of the retirement trust fund, and it doesn't matter who cares. It's the same amount, same payday, but because of that switch, stop worrying about CDRs, continuing disability reviews, stop worrying about being kicked off of disability, and know that you no longer have any limitations in terms of work. You can make $1 billion a month and it's not going to affect your disability because you're not receiving disability benefits. So, and there's so many other things, WIB, RIB, IEDS, a change from spouse to survivor. There's so many things out there that Social Security does a terrible job at letting people know. They just don't have the budget. They're barely staying above water right now. And again, this is a conscious decision by politicians to make customer service Social Security the worst it possibly can. So y'all hate Social Security, hate Social Security employees. And then in a few years, when the trust fund runs out and the politicians say, okay, well, we tried nothing and we're all out of ideas, then you're going to do, as we see with the Affordable Care Act, we'll do whatever we have to do. And there'll be a bad decision and a worse decision. And They want us to, yeah. So it's all calculated. I'm I'm thinking about retiring at 62 with a past 19-year divorce. How do I calculate? Ex-spouse is a higher earner. Okay, so there's another person in there that had a similar question. So you have to file for benefits on your own record. Someone was actually, let me answer, we'll put these two questions together. Someone has been trying to call Social Security and they asked about deemed filing, and this is basically that. If you're not able to get into Social Security, then you just have to keep trying. But remember, take a little screenshot. If you call on your cell phone, the 800 number or the local Social Security office, and you're not able to get in for whatever reason, take a little screenshot that you did call and you were on hold for 5 hours. Take a little screenshot of that. And then when you try later, if it's the next month, you show them that little screenshot and says, hey, I tried to call you guys. I understand it's not your fault. Politicians are trying to kill y'all, but here's my proof, and they'll give you that back pay. So if you're entitled to that back pay. I'm thinking about, that is the age, if you're the right age and all that. So I'm thinking about retiring. So you have to file for benefits on your own record first. That's what's called the deemed filing there. So you have to file for benefits on your own record first. And then if your benefit amount, your full benefit amount, not what you're going to receive, it's called the MBA, the monthly benefit amount, your full benefit amount, if you waited, if that benefit amount is less than half of your spouse's full benefit amount, then you're eligible for benefits on that record. And this is a divorce type situation. You were with a past 19. Okay, yeah. So you were married at least 10 years. And so you have to get that marriage certificate and a divorce decree. But don't wait. Go ahead and call and schedule an appointment and all that kind of stuff. And then, get the documents. And if you don't get the documents in time, keep your appointment. Remember, one of the things, so you said you're 62. You have to be 62 the entire month. So if you were born essentially on the 1st, you're good. But if any other day of the year or the month, then you have to wait for the next month. And then your first check won't come to the month after that. That's only for 62. So what's your take on medical system failure due to hospital and private corporation closures? Yeah, there's going to be a lot. There's a lot of particularly rural hospitals. I get notifications on my email every single day of more hospitals throughout the country closing down because of close to $1 trillion cut out of Medicaid. And then there's going to be 20 million people or so losing the Affordable Care Act. So people are still going to go to the hospitals, but the hospitals see the writing on the wall that these people are not going to be able to pay. They don't have health insurance. So they're going to come down, they're going to come to the emergency rooms. So some hospitals are shutting down their emergency rooms or OBGYN or, whatever. And because they understand that it's like, hey, whoever owns that hospital in wherever in the country, they see the writing on the wall and it says, okay, we're making a little bit of profit now. We're going to make less and less and less. And maybe I just go ahead and cut my losses right now and shut down the hospital. So we see that happening a lot. There's over last I saw, the big beautiful bill cuts about $175 billion out from rural hospitals. And then they said, hey, but we gave them 50. It's like, yeah, okay. It's like you take 20 for someone and then you say, here's a 5. So aren't I awesome? I gave you $5. Yeah. So hospitals, they understand that scam. Voters, unfortunately, don't. So yeah, there's a lot of hospitals going to be closing down. And what we need is Medicare for all. Pretty much everybody gets essentially a Medicare. Your Medicare becomes like a Medicare supplement plan G, but with prescriptions, vision, dental, and hearing in there. And people say, that's going to cost so much. No, that actually save us money. $500 billion comes out of the healthcare just to go to profits and CEO pays and all that. So Yeah, we pay more than any other country in the world, and we get less out of it. No, you are not automatically enrolled in Part D. You will need to do that. Oh, okay. Someone's helping each other out. I appreciate it. So yeah, if you're 65, if you're turning 65, then yeah, you're not automatically enrolled. You will be automatically enrolled in Part A and Part B if you are currently receiving Social Security money benefits. If you're receiving Social Security money benefits other than SSI, then they'll sign you up for Part A and Part B automatically. And then you have to figure out what you want to do to cover all those gaps of Original Medicare. Original Medicare is awesome, but there's a lot of gaps in there. So you can either do a Medicare supplement plan or a Medicare Advantage plan. And don't worry about the annual enrollment period. If you're new to Medicare, you have a few months to go ahead and sign up for a Medicare Advantage or Medicare supplement plan, but I would do it as soon as possible so you don't lose your ability to go to the hospital and not go bankrupt. But if you currently have a Medicare Advantage plan or Part D plan, then you definitely need to review your plan for 2026. And you can call Chapter Medicare, who supports us and therefore supports all of the websites we're able to provide for free. But if you call them up, and some people are having a hard time, they were crazy busy this year. A lot of y'all wanted to reach out to them because of their assistance that they provide throughout the year, which is going to be super important for 2026. So if you have a problem with billing or prior authorizations or get some weird letters, they're there to help you out. So a lot of people want them to be able to be there in their corner to help them out. So a lot of people have been calling Chapter, and they've been inundated. But if you're having a hard time, email me at ed@mygovexpert.com. Make sure you call them before you do and see if you can get through. Try early in the morning or late at night. They're open till 9 or 10 at night, East Coast time. But you have to call them first, because if you send me an email, make sure you include your phone number and said, hey, Ed, I tried to call, I couldn't get it through. I will send it to their team there and they will call you back, but they can't call you back until they can confirm you called them first, because they're not like one of those companies that harass people. Oh, speaking of, I've got a video question here about that. Let's see here. Who was it? Someone had, maybe this is it. No, let me, I've got, I don't think I downloaded. Anyway, somebody was in the Philippines. It looks like I forgot to download it. Okay, somebody was in the Philippines and they got a email, looked like it was from Social Security, had a official looking Social Security logo on it. And it said CSR, which is actually a Social Security term, customer service representative. But anyway, and then it said Esurance. And then important news about your Social Security, click this link. Don't click the link. So there might be a lot going out there. Don't click the link. Anytime you get a email from Social Security, Medicare, whatever, and a lot of people do, because they've done the right thing and they've set up for their My Social Security account. And when Social Security puts a letter in the notification in that account, they send you an email or a text and say, hey, yeah, we just sent you something, but never click on the link they send you. Just delete that email and then go to ssa.gov and then go into your account from there. The people at Chapter actually are working in Congress to shut down some of those people that call you 20 or 30 times a day and harass you. And so it's basically that the Esurance, they're probably trying to get you to switch your Medicare plan or something like that. So that's where that's coming from. So just be careful. And if you had that, if you fell for that, or you're not sure you set up for a correct Medicare plan, you still have time. You have until the 7th. Then there's another mulligan starting January, but you have until the 7th to review your plan. So if you've already signed up for a plan and You say, or you change your doctors, or you know, oh, did I do the right thing? Did I go through Ed's full 7 Ps? Did I check the providers and the prescription and the priorities, and I did I do it right? If you review and decide you didn't make the right decision, yes, you can change your decision. The last one you choose, Medicare Advantage, the last one you choose on midnight, December 7th, is the one that will take effect January 1st. So, but again, if you're having issues reaching out to chapter, please email me, ed@mygovexpert.com, and I will reach out. Actually, we're going to have Ari here tomorrow from chapter to answer all your Medicare questions. So I noticed online today that Social Security projected benefits have been updated for the COLA. Okay, yeah, it takes them a little time for them to do the computer updating there. So I moved to Cambodia and live like a king. In U.S., I'd be homeless. Yeah, I think that's where the guy that said he got that insurance thingy, he's in the Philippines. So yeah, a lot of expats, a lot of people moving overseas, a lot of people do medical tourism. That's a big thing. If they don't have health insurance and whatever knee replacement or whatever. Will cost them, $50,000 in the United States. I have no idea how much, but anyway, if something will cost them $50,000 in the United States, they can jump on a plane and go someplace and get it for, a tenth of the price. And, so they made me send a copy of my driver's license. Is this legal? Social Security may require proof of ID and, to get a Social Security card or something like that. If you don't want to go in the office and you can't do it online, then you have to, mail your U.S. passport or your certificate of naturalization or whatever like that. I would hesitate because stuff gets lost in the mail. But if they needed your driver's license, number one, you don't want to if you're driving, I wouldn't send it in because then you're not going to have a driver's license in case you get stopped. But if they need it for whatever reason, then yeah, you could have just taken it down there and say, hey, y'all, this person requested, make sure you get the person's name or their code. They'll have like a unit code. Mine was EAW and OS1 and then DM anyway. But anyway, everybody knows their code. So get their name or their code, and you take your driver's license down there or your certificate of naturalization or your marriage certificate, divorce decree, whatever it is, you take it down there, and the Social Security employee will make a copy of it. They have to make the copy. They will make a copy of it, stamp it, that's a certified copy, and then they'll give your original back to you, and you just walk out the door. So maybe they needed it for whatever reason, but yeah, I would be hesitant to. Yeah. ICE may kick me out, so I may just head to Italy or the Caribbean. Yeah. And I did a video a few days ago about, ICE and the Department of Homeland Security, and they have set up this new financial kill switch, essentially, that has never existed in Social Security since 1935. It's a brand new thing where they can flag your Social Security number, and that shuts off everything. Shuts off your financial life. No more credit cards. Your bank account is frozen. It's like you're deceased. Before, Social Security could only do that if they actually got a death certificate from, the state. But now, the current administration has added this new kill switch where any ICE agent or DSH agent or contractor or whoever can say, hey, random life things, you don't look like an American, and and there, you're done until you bring yourself back to life. And so rounding people up, that's old school. The trick now is to deport people and denaturalize. It's like, I'm a U.S. citizen. Yeah, denaturalization is being talked about. So if you're a traitor like, Mike Pence or Marjorie Taylor Greene. Oh, wait a second. Those were, yeah. So potato, right? I'm 62 on disability. Can I collect from my husband's Social Security? Will it affect his payments? Okay. All right. We just might find another, this might be another success story here. Yes. A lot of people make this mistake. I do this, I talk about this on a regular basis. So basically, what we have here, let me go through the spiel. I apologize to my regular viewers. They know this inside and out, and they go out into their community and they help people get benefits. And we have the most superheroes. Marvel can't compare to our community in terms of superheroes. All right, Christina, so somebody pushed the button and send you this or shared, and someone out there is responsible for you getting this information and maybe getting some more money. So if you're receiving Social Security disability benefits, which you are, SSDI, I assume, not SSI, but SSDI, you can get benefits on top of that. Not retirement benefits from your own record because you're already receiving the higher benefit amount on disability, but on auxiliary, it's called auxiliary record. So I'll go through the whole thing. If you're 60 years old and you're eligible for survivor benefits, and those survivor benefits are higher than your disability benefits, you can 100% get those survivor benefits if you're eligible. You were married to that person for, whatever time, you're not currently married and all that. But if you're eligible for survivor benefits at 60, you can get those on top of your Social Security disability benefits. And there's a lot of people that kind of know that, but maybe in your case, you're 62. Now you're eligible for spouse benefits, divorce spouse benefits, independently entitled divorce spouse benefits. You can get those on top of your disability benefits. A lot of people know that, but they don't want to because maybe that's your situation. You say, well, I'm on disability benefits, and because I've been on disability benefits for 2 years, I'm also on Medicare. If I wasn't on disability, I have to wait till I'm 65 to get Medicare. And so I would be without health insurance. So you say, because I'm on disability benefits, I don't want to switch to survivor benefits or spouse benefits or divorce spouse benefits because I will lose my Medicare. And two things are wrong with that. Number one is you're not going to switch. You're still going to get, if you're eligible for spouse benefits, you're still going to get your disability benefits. You're just going to get your spouse benefits added on top. And because you're essentially getting two checks, you're getting one check from the Social Security Disability Trust Fund for this amount, and then you're getting benefits as a spouse or divorced spouse for this amount from the Social Security Retirement Trust. It all comes in one check, but it's essentially two checks. And because you have Social Security disability benefits continuing, your Medicare will continue as well. So, Christina, run to the phone. Well, your husband, so your current husband. So your particular situation, because it's your current husband, he has to be receiving Social Security benefits, either disability benefits or retirement benefits. If he's currently receiving benefits, then yeah, you need to contact Social Security and start benefits on his record. Again, your benefit amount has to be less than half of his full benefit amount. If all of that applies, then yeah, you need to contact Social Security immediately and start getting that extra money. So, and then let us know how it went. Hi, Doc. I will be 66 in 10 months in April 2026. Full retirement age. Am I eligible at the end of April or only as April 1st? I don't expect my first check until May. Am I right? Yeah, it's April. They don't use the day necessarily. So yeah, you're the only time the day comes into a factor is if you were born on April 1st, April Fool's Day, or May 1st or March 1st. Social Security considers you've obtained that age the day before. So let's say you turn 62, your birthday is on April 1st, they consider you have obtained that age the day before. So, but in your case, it's April 26th. So yeah, so your full retirement age is April 26, and you will get your first check in May on the 4th Wednesday of the month. Because how it works, if you're born in the first 10 days of the month, you get it on the second Wednesday, Second 10 days of the month, you get it on the third Wednesday, and you were born at the end of the month, so you get it on the fourth Wednesday of every month. So, and simplify, rah. Maybe I'm just ignorant. Electric goes out in cold weather. Sometimes, yeah, if the poles come down. Wonder if I could live off the grid in Appalachia somewhere and make a minimalist life. Maybe an option worth considering. Yeah. Was that old TV series Mountain Man? I'm afraid of Medicare prices going up once they do away with Obamacare. Well, yeah, they've been trying to, the mantra has been repeal and replace. They've tried over 70 times to repeal it since day one, but they've never had a replacement. They've never had a plan for replacement. It's like, it's going to be out in 2 weeks. It's going to be out in 2 weeks. Yeah, we got a plan. We got a plan. Well, show us the plan. And then all of a sudden it's like, we give money directly to people so they can go out there and negotiate with billion-dollar companies. Oh yeah, that's just another way to kill the Affordable Care Act. But yeah, when people lose Medicaid, millions of people are going to lose Medicaid, millions of people are going to lose the Affordable Care Act. And yes, I don't care what kind of plan you have, if you have an employer plan or if you have Medicare, if you still have Medicaid, if you have the Affordable Care Act still, it doesn't matter what kind of a healthcare plan, prices are going to go up for everybody. Because those hospitals are going to be, people are still going to get injured and they're still going to get sick and they're still going to go to the hospital, the emergency room, rather than going to a primary care physician if they get sick or something. And hospitals the emergency room is 10 times more expensive. And if people don't have the money, they will stiff the hospital for that money. And the hospital is going to raise the rates for everybody else. So yeah, we've chosen the most expensive way, but to get the less out of it. So if you sat down and it's like, let's design the most expensive per person healthcare system in the world and make it the worst it possibly can in terms of access. The plan we have today is that the whole system of Medicaid and Medicare and the Affordable Care Act, the whole package together is basically that. The Affordable Care Act was actually a step in the right direction, but as soon as the previous Trump administration took out the mandate, that ruined everything. I mean, for car insurance, if the reason car insurance is not more expensive is because people are mandated to have car insurance. It's even crazy expensive. But if people weren't mandated, then, to get car insurance, it'd probably be $10,000 a month or something like that, because people would only get it. And then nobody would get it because it's too expensive. So yeah, insurance is operated by a pooled risk. The more people, the cheaper. Theoretically, insurance companies like to, yeah. Anyway, that's a whole different debate. If you work while on Social Security, you do pay taxes like everyone else. As long as you don't break the 24K limit, it doesn't affect your Social Security check. Yeah, if you're under your full retirement age and you continue to work and you stay under the 23,400 or the 24,480 for next year, then it doesn't affect it doesn't affect your Social Security check negatively. It could affect it positively if you made, like, let's say in 2026, you made $24,000, you were $480, but that $24,000 was one of your high 35 years, then it would actually increase your benefit amount. So yes, and as long as you're working, even if you're collecting Social Security benefits, you're still going to pay your FICA taxes, Social Security, and if you're receiving a Social Security check, about 50% of people are going to pay taxes on their Social Security check. Even though the president continually says in the one big beautiful bill, there is no tax on Social Security benefits. That didn't pass. There's a deduction, a $6,000 deduction. So if you make $100,000, then IRS considers you made $94,000, but you're still going to pay taxes. That was a promise, that guess what? didn't come about. Let's see. If I change banks now, will my check go to the new bank account? Yeah, it really depends. If your check is due tomorrow, then no. Usually takes a couple, 3 days to go through the system. So, but yeah, if you do it with probably 4 or 5 days ahead of the game, then yeah, your check will go to your new bank account. But don't close out your old bank account until you know it's going to your new bank account. Had that happen all the time. So if for some reason, you know, whoever types in the wrong routing number, account number, and they go to send your check to the new bank, then yeah, they'll kick it back. And what you do is you just call them and say, oh, okay, well, for some reason that's not working, send it to my own bank or try again. Here, okay, here's the routing number. It's not, the last two is not 1-2, it's 2-1. And they will put it in there, and then that's usually an overnight process. So it'll probably hit overnight. So, all right, let's get some video questions here.
Hello, Dr. Weir. My name is Tanya. I got a two-part question for you. First one is for my boyfriend. I'm trying to help him. He's turned 65 next month, and he's already got his red, white, and blue Medicare card. Tried calling Chapter earlier today, 3-hour wait. I'm like, no, we're not doing that. Sent you an email, so please keep a lookout for that. But anyway, my question is, because we are getting ready to move by the end of the year, so when the new year starts and his policy begins, we will be in a new zip code. For me, having worked for another health care provider that gives Medicare, I understand there's something called special enrollment period. I don't know if he would qualify for that because of the fact that we moved to another zip code, and I know benefits are based on zip code and all that. So if you can answer that and let me know whether because we would move before the end of the year and be in another zip code, would he qualify for that special enrollment? My second,
it depends on where, because Medicare Advantage plans are based on, basically zip codes. But if you're moving from one zip code to another one, and that other zip code just happens to be across the street, maybe your plan still covers that zip code. But if your Medicare Advantage or Part D plan is not in your new zip code, then yeah, you have what's called the special enrollment period. And this whole, you know, the annual enrollment period that we're in now from October 15th to December 7th, not relevant to you at all. When you have a special enrollment period if your plan is no longer available in that new area. And yeah, I think I did get your, I've got some emails and I sent it up to Ari at Chapter, and he responded that he was able to reach everybody and take care of him. So hopefully, I'm not sure what your name was, but I think I got yours as well.
The question is for myself. You kind of answered this before because I've done a video question before on it, but I'm still slightly confused. I'm only 55. I don't plan until I'm my full retirement age, even though they're saying they may up full retirement age to 67 now. I'm collecting my deceased ex-husband's benefit. We were married for 15 years, so we meet the 10-year requirement. What would you advise me on doing that? Should I do it at 62, or should I go ahead and wait till my full retirement age, whatever that may end up being at the time I ask for it?
Okay. So on survivor benefits, you can, a lot of people miss this one. If you're disabled, it's called disabled widows benefits. So you can get essentially widower, Social Security call it surviving spouse benefits. So if you were married to someone and they passed away and you became disabled within 7 years of that person's passing, then you're eligible for disabled widows benefits if you're disabled between 50 and 59. Okay. If it's not a disability type situation, then for surviving spouse benefits, you said 62, but remember, surviving spouse benefits, you can start at 60. And just like everything else with Social Security, retirement, survivor benefits, spouse benefits, divorce spouse benefits, if you take your benefits early, they are reduced. So if you take surviving spouse benefits at 60, it's going to be the full reduction. It's 71.5% of that person's full benefit amount. The longer you wait, the better. Well, not necessarily the better. The benefit goes up. But if you need the money, you need the money. So when you're 60, you need the money, you start at 60. And with surviving spouse benefits, as I talked about before, on spouse benefits, if your spouse is out there still alive and kicking, you have to file for benefits on your own record. That does not apply for surviving spouse benefits. So if you start your surviving spouse benefits at, let's say, 62, don't touch your own. You don't have to touch your own benefits. So you start surviving spouse benefits, and then you don't touch yours, and yours continues to increase on your own record all the way until you hit 70 years old. So that's what a lot of people do, is they receive survivor benefits, and then every few years they check to see how much their benefit is on their own record, and they say, is it time to switch? No, I'll wait another year. Don't wait till past your 70, because it stops increasing because of that. So, and people ask, what's going on with chapter? How come they're not able to answer? The problem is there's this annual enrollment period is 53 days, and they could hire 10 times more people. They have to do a bunch of training because they're super, super trained. If anybody's called chapter, they know these guys are really, really trained. And a lot of them don't work out with chapter. Chapter is very stringent on making sure people are nice and compassionate and stuff. So, but they could hire 10 times more people for this 53 days. But when the 53 days is over, then, they won't need those 10 times more people for the rest of the year. They need only, 20% of what they have to help people throughout the year, turning 65, special enrollment periods, helping people, navigate, their medical bill or, prior authorization. So if any company hired what they need during the annual enrollment period, particularly chapter right now, they would be out of business January 1st, because it's like, okay, we've got 10 times more people than we need. So we're going to have to either fire everybody, which they don't want to do once they hire them and train them, or so they're in, unfortunately, a no-win situation. But if you're not able to get through, email me and I'll make sure they contact you. And then let us know how that went.
Hey, Dr. Ed, this is Kim Tompkins, and I have a question for you. I'm switching to a supplement plan next year and got my Plan D documents in the mail yesterday. And I was somewhat surprised that they have authorizations required for some medications. Is that pretty common? I guess I assumed that with the Medigap or the supplements, Plan N, Plan G, that Plan D would have to follow the same rules, and there also would not be any prior authorizations required. Can you comment on this?
Sure. Yeah. We really wish that was the fact. Yeah. When you get a Medicare supplement plan, so when you get original Medicare, you have a choice so you have Part A, Part B, and then to cover all the gaps of original Medicare, you can either get a Medicare supplement plan, which she did, or a Medicare Advantage plan like the previous viewer did. So nobody can tell you which one's best for you until they ask you a bunch of questions. I always recommend, if you're able to afford it, if it's in your budget, Medicare Supplement Plan G or N, because you don't have the prior authorizations and all that garbage and networks and everything. But when you get a Medicare Supplement Plan, one of those N and Gs, then you also have to get, it's called a standalone Part D drug plan. And number one, you did the right thing. There's a lot of people that get a Medicare supplement plan, but they say, oh, I don't take drugs, so I'm not going to get a Part D plan. And then later on, when they sign up for a Part D plan, they're penalized for the rest of their life because they're supposed to get it when they're supposed to get it. But no, unfortunately, those no prior authorizations, because you're in a Medicare supplement plan, so you have no issues with prior authorizations. The current administration is trying to add those. They're doing some test states where they're adding prior authorizations to original Medicare, and hopefully y'all reach out and say, stop it. But that doesn't transfer over to your standalone Part D plan, because that's probably a different company perhaps, and it's a standalone. So yeah, but you did the right thing by signing up when you needed to. You just have to, you do have, the Part D plan has to provide at least 2 versions of drugs for particular issues. So, and remember, anything you can fight. And that's what a lot of people don't do. And let me put it up here. On mygovexpert.com, on our free website there, you click on appeals, and then it gives you all the appeals, all the ways you can fight. You can fight Social Security, you can fight Medicare, and you can fight Medicare Advantage plans. And this is one of the things that chapter helps you do. But you can also fight in terms of prescription drugs. So if you have your particular prescription drug company, either your standalone Part D or your Medicare Advantage, has a particular formulary and your drug is not on their formulary, you can ask for an exception. You say, yeah, you've got these 2 drugs and I've tried those for my condition, but it just doesn't work, or it makes me feel terrible. I would like for you to add an exception to add this particular brand or this particular variant. And you can ask for that. And you can also ask for a tiering exception. Part D plans, there's tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and become more expensive. And you can say, yeah, can you lower the tier on that to save me some money? So a lot of people don't know they can fight that stuff. And most people that actually fight it win it, but companies don't want you to. We've got Focus Lady donated $19.99. You're too awesome. Appreciate it. And then somebody else donated $10 to the cause. David Whitney, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Also, Focus Lady has a question for my family. If someone on SSDI, Social Security Disability Insurance, gets a letter saying stopped payment after they previously contacted them about a CDR, will their Medicare stop? Usually your Medicare will continue. It depends why your SSDI stop, but sometimes I would reach out to them, and it should continue for like 96 months. But I would reach out to them. Remember, CDR, if there's 2 types of CDR. So when you're on disability, you can be kicked off of disability. When the good part of being kicked off, when you hit your full retirement age, that's a good being kicked off. But you can be kicked off based on a work CDR or a medical CDR. So if you continue to work, even if you are disabled, but you're able to work, like, FDR, what had polio, he couldn't walk, but he could work. So if you're able to work, then they will kick you off disability benefits after your trial work period and all that stuff. If Social Security determines your disability got better and you can return to work, that's how you're kicked off as medical. So if you were kicked off, if your family member, so number 1, thank you for taking care of your family like that. Another superhero out there. If your family member was kicked off because of a CDR and they disagree with it, don't take that line down. If they say, oh yeah, I'm working, I did my trial work period, I'm working over SGA, yada, yada, yada. I got this surgery. So I understand I'm not disabled. Then, okay, then that's fair. But if they disagree with that, make sure they fight. Yeah. And when they get that letter kicking them off, it'll say on the bottom of the letter, their appeal rights. They have 60 days, technically 65 days. But if they actually have more than that. If you get a letter like that and it's something you don't agree with, on the bottom of the letter, it'll say, if you disagree, you have an appeal right, you have to contact us within 60 days. So those people out there, maybe I should have fought, but it's past the 60 days. Don't worry about it. Fight, and it's usually an SSA 561 request for reconsideration that you want them to reconsider their decision. And then you add what's called a good cause letter. You just write up a little thing that says, okay, I'm 30 days late, I'm 40 days late, I'm 60, I'm 70, 80, 90 days late because I was having issues. I was in the hospital, I was traveling, I had a funeral, I didn't get this letter, I just got it. Just a good cause letter. And I've gotten hundreds of thousands of good cause letters, and I don't think when I worked at Social Security, I've never denied any of them. So yeah. So I'm sure they will. Yeah. But you can also fight that too. Yeah. Anyway. Let's see here. We've got another video question, I think.
Hello, my name is Ali Umaiga, and I am on a Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance. Now, they say it's going to end December, at the end of December. So they will send me to UMENA. That's that they are sending me more than 3 or 4 letters from UMENA, and they send me their card also. So
okay, yeah, that's very strange. Okay, yeah, there's about 1 million people that are going to lose their Medicare Advantage plans for 2026 because particularly those with PPOs, health insurance companies generally make more money when you're an HMO versus a PPO, because HMO, they contract with the doctors and pay the doctors crap, allegedly. So they make more money with an HMO. So the insurance companies, to make more money for 2026, are going to kick or about 1 million people off of their PPO plan. So he looks like he was one of those. So they said, okay, yeah, it was nice knowing you, but by December 31st, you have to go do what you want. And maybe at the same time, another health insurance company found out he was one of the people in the area being cut off, and they started sending him stuff and say, hey, sign up with us. And so for you, I would double check. You don't have to be forced into another Medicare Advantage plan, because if sometimes they call it, they walk you over to another plan, or they kind of suggest this one, or, whatever. But that might not be the best one for you. So the best one for you is the one that covers your providers, your physicians, the hospital you like to go to, the one that covers your prescriptions and save you the most money on prescriptions, the one that covers the pharmacy you like to go to if you have one, the one that has your priorities. You need more dental, vision. The prices are important, even though they're, most of them are 0 premium per month. You might pay $100 a night for a hospital, the other one $500, $20 for an MRI versus $300 for an MRI. So you need to evaluate what's best for you and make a decision yourself. Don't let some company that just sent you mail say, hey, here's the plan for you. No, you need to talk to someone. So if you know someone you know and trust that's also Medicare, helps out with Medicare, reach out to them. You can reach out to chapter there, call them up and say, hey, here, I need a new plan for 2026, and have all that information ready, the name of your providers, your prescription, and all that, and that way you're prepared. And don't forget, the most important thing about using chapter is the persistence, the last P there. In 2026, if whatever company you choose, they're all going to try to nickel and dime you, do the prior authorizations and say, this doctor's not covered, and we're going to, this doctor's dropped out of the network. And so all of that, you just have to keep up on it. You have to fight, and chapter helps you throughout the year to fight. So let's see. Guys carry a wallet in their back pocket, and the cheap Medicare card will be ruined in no time. Yes. People are asking about the laminating cards. Yeah, you're not supposed to laminate. You're not supposed to laminate your Social Security card. It's just because when it's laminated, you can change the stuff under there, and you can't really tell. If it's just the bare Social Security card, you can tell if someone switched something. But guess that doesn't really matter nowadays when, you know, the printers and everything are so awesome. But your Medicare card, this was the stupidest thing. Social Security for years said, don't carry your Social Security number around with you, because if you lose your wallet or your purse, then they've got your ID with your name and your date of birth, plus they got your Social Security number, so they need everything. So don't walk around with your Social Security number. Only take it out when you need it. But then Medicare cards had people's Social Security number on it, and people needed their Medicare cards all the time in case they got in an accident or got sick or something. So it was always the stupidest thing. But Social Security and Medicare finally got smart and said, wow, that was stupid. And so your Medicare card no longer has your Social Security number on it. It has a Medicare beneficiary ID, a different number on it. So yeah, it took them a few decades, but they finally got smart in that respect. So anyway, all right, that's it for tonight. I appreciate y'all. And the final is, are you better off now than you were 1 or 2 years ago? We got yes or 17%. No, 58%, about the same, 15%, and mixed good and bad, 10%. So those, the majority of people out there are not better off. And if the reason they're not better off is because they're not fighting the bureaucracy, or they're not getting everything they're eligible and they paid for from Social Security, retirement, survivor benefits, Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, and all that stuff, y'all's job is, as the best community in America, is to go out there and harass people. When you're in the grocery line, you know, you see an elderly couple behind you, or, you know, strike up a conversation, says, hey, how you doing? Yeah. So is Social Security treating you right? Oh yeah, but I always wonder if I should do this, that, and the other. Please go out there and let's help as many people as we possibly can. If you got any questions, record the video, go on to mygovexpert.com. On the bottom left, it has a little icon of a camera. Click that and you can record a 2-minute video and help somebody out. So y'all take care, and please continue being awesome, and we'll see you next time. And Ari will be here from chapter tomorrow, and we'll hold his feet to the fire and say, hey, how come you're not answering the phone? But we already know why, but they're having a tough time. But email me if you can't get through, ed@mygovexpert.com. Y'all take care. Have a beautiful, beautiful night. And please, 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 please take care of each other. Bye-bye.